Across the globe, immigration policies and labor exploitation continue to spark major concern. From the United States to India, the struggle of working class against oppression remains a central issue. In the United States, US President Donald Trump's administration has intensified immigration crackdown, leading to mass deportations and workplace raids. Immigrants, specifically those from Latin America and South Asia, have been the primary targets. Many face inhumane conditions with families torn apart in the middle of the night as enforcement agencies conduct raids without the warning. According to reports, deportation under the Donald Trump administration has been lower than those during Biden's tenure. However, the aggressive rioting and threats of large-scale removals have fueled fear within migrant community. Policies targeting migrants are often justified using nationalism and job security concern, a tactic frequently employed by capitalist system just to divide the working class. In fact, a major driving force behind mass migration is economic hardship that is caused by very harsh policies. The United States, through multinational agreements and strategic intervention, has destabilized economies in Latin America, the Middle East, and South Asia. In fact, India has witnessed similar challenges with workers forced to migrate to the Gulf, the US, and Europe just in search of better opportunities. Many Indian workers in Gulf countries face exploitative working conditions with poor wages, harsh labor laws, and no legal protection. In fact, the kafala system in the Middle East, for example, leaves thousands of Indian laborers vulnerable to mistreatment, unpaid wages, and even human rights abuses. Despite these struggles, remittances from Indian migrants remain a crucial part of India's economy, contributing nearly $100 billion annually. Now, if you see, then in both India and the US, immigration are often blamed for economic struggles, even though they play a vital role in sustaining industries. In the US, undocumented workers form a backbone of the agriculture and construction sector, yet they receive poverty wages. Similarly, in India, migrant workers from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh form a majority of the labor force in cities like Mumbai and Delhi, often working under exploitative conditions. Trump's campaign rhetoric suggested that immigrants were responsible for unemployment among black Americans. However, economic studies indicate that job shortages and work stagnation are primarily caused by corporate greed and wealth concentration among the elite. In India, politicians frequently blame Bangladeshi migrants for unemployment and crimes, deflecting attention from systematic issues caused by inadequate labor rights and economic mistreatment. Now, historically, labor movements have fought back against such injustice. In the US, Latinos and black workers have led mass protests demanding fair wages and immigrant rights. In 2006, Day Without Immigrant protest in Los Angeles saw 1.5 million people walk off their jobs in a display of economic power. Similarly, India has witnessed some of the world's largest labor strikes, with millions of workers protesting against exploitative policies and privatization. In fact, the recent farmers' protests in India, where over 250 million people participated, demonstrated the strength of organized protest. Migrant workers, farmers, and industrial laborers are beginning to unite, realizing that their struggles are interconnected. In cities like Los Angeles, migrant communities have organized patrol groups to prevent deportation rate. Activists quickly inform the families and block enforcement officers from taking away undocumented workers. In India also, labor unions and worker cooperatives have been forming networks to resist exploitation, demand better wages, and ensure legal protection for vulnerable workers. Wait, there's more. Students and youth are also playing a crucial role. In the US, high school students have staged walkouts in protest of anti-immigrant policies. Similarly, in India, student-led movements have risen against unfair labor laws and even government crackdowns on the dissent. So, we have learned that both in the US and India, mainstream political parties claim to support labor rights and migrant protection while simultaneously enforcing capitalist policy that exploit the workers. The US Democratic Party has often positioned itself as a defender of immigrant rights, yet it has also supported increased borders security, control, and military intervention that fuel displacement. In India, both the ruling parties and opposition have failed to address the root cause of migration and labor exploitation. Despite promises of reform, policies that benefit corporate interests continue to take precedence over workers' rights. So, to challenge systematic oppression, workers across the world must unite. Unions and labor organizations must break away from established policies and form independent movement to fight for fair wages, protection, and rights for all workers, despite of any nationality or immigration status. The struggle against capitalism, imperialism, and exploitation is a global one. From the streets of New Delhi to labor camp of the Gulf, from American farmlands to European factories, workers must recognize their common enemy, a system that prioritizes profit over human lives.